My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora, which is my people. It has been another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fame. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you re-enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? All in all, it was another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. There is nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protest. And as you know, when I have finished protesting, and when I have updated you as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring to you something of a social nature as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, every responsible government of the world knows that if you do not see it fit to equip or to outfit your police officers with firearms, then there are laws which properly govern and dictates as to who in your country and the number of people that are allowed to walk around armed with firearms within that society. If your law enforcement officers are not equipped with firearms because you are of the opinion that the law enforcement officers don't need firearms because of the crime status of our country or any country, then you cannot in turn justify giving regular citizens firearms to protect themselves. And it does not matter whether these citizens are property owners or business owners, as long as your police are not equipped with firearms, then you cannot be distributing firearm license to citizens willy-nilly. Because when your law enforcement officers go to enforce the law of the land, they must be confident that when they go to a business place, when they go to a person's home, that they will not be surprised that these people can outmaneuver them and outpower them because they are equipped with firearms and the police are not. Any society that is properly run, note this: these societies have laws, strong laws that governs who is awarded the opportunity or the privilege of bearing a firearm and what are the scope of the use of those firearms. Let me give you an example of this, what I mean. Some months ago, where the announcer by the name of Too Cool Chris was walking along one of the streets in Kingston, and he alleged that some crazy man threw 2 bottles at him. Too Cool Chris felt it was appropriate, being a licensed firearm holder, to withdraw his firearm from his holster, aim it at that man, and shoot that man when his life was not in danger. When the police were called, the police that responded to the scene were police that were not carrying firearms. So here we see, we have a man who have just indiscriminately used his firearm against another citizen. His head is hot. And now you are dispatching police officers without firearm to deal with a man who have just used a firearm and another. How does this make sense? You see, when you have a government that is run by a prime minister who don't understand his job, things like these happens. because kisses goes by favor, not by laws or by necessity. You see, some years ago, the Guardsman security firm came to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because we do not have any strong firearm laws, they were able to subvert those laws and offered armed security or armored security transportation of monies from facilities of business to the banking institution. And in order for the Guardsman operation to make it look reasonable, for them to allow them to operate armored security transportation in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, what they did, they encouraged several members of the Special Service Unit in St. Vincent and the Grenadines that were trained in the art of use of firearm and who carried firearm on a daily basis in the course of their duties. They encouraged those who were close to retirement to take all retirement. They give them a sign-on bonus, which was a good bonus, plus they got surety, and they were given a fairly good wages that was above that which they were making as police officers. So those police officers were presented with a good deal to take early retirement. Now, it was reasonable to allow these police officers who have just left their jobs and were equipped in the training of carrying firearms to continue as armed security for the armored transportation of monies in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And because we have an incompetent government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they did not see it fit to update the security laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to now encompass armed security. What are the protocols for a security officer to obtain a license to carry a firearm as a security officer? What are the things that security officer who was allowed to carry a firearm in the course of his duties can do to cause his firearm license to be revoked? What are the criteria that these people have to meet in order to be allowed to carry a firearm in the course of their duties? Do they have to go through a psychological evaluation to examine their current state of mind and their potential to misuse their authority? Do they have to go through regular and random drug testing to ensure that they are not using alcohol or any other narcotics, especially when they are on duties? Are they social smoker of marijuana in St. Vincent and the Grenadines? If a member of the community come to a police station or go to the commissioner of police or superintendent and report that constable or sergeant or inspector this or that was seen smoking marijuana, then the commissioner of police is going to order an investigation unknowing to that person whom the allegation was made against. And if that person was deemed to be a user of marijuana, or there were evidence to support that he was seen smoking marijuana in a particular place at a particular time, that person can lose their jobs. What I am saying here is, how can the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines allow a company to dispatch armed security officers to business places within St. Vincent and the Grenadines when their police service is not equipped to deal with conflicts that are arising out of incident that involved these armed security officers? Here we have a situation where last week an armed at one of our credit unions indiscriminately abused his power as a security officer that is carrying a firearm, took a man outside into the foyer of the company, shot that man in his chest at close range, and yet unarmed police officers were expected to attend that incident to deal with a man who is clearly out of his mind and are armed with a firearm. I want somebody within the government, particularly the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to help us make this incident make sense. This should never happen. You have to remember that in places like credit unions and banks, most likely the persons who are doing business there are members of those institutions, and the security there are there to ensure that the members are allowed to conduct their business safely, more so than for the staff. For the security and the staff are there to do the same thing, to serve the public. The security is not there solely for the protection of the staff, but they are there to protect the staff from members and other members of the public who will try to take advantage of the institution and the institution workers. But they are also there to ensure primarily the safety of the members who goes there to do business. So when the members are not safe, something is terribly wrong. Yes, the security officer was charged with murder. He was arraigned and he was remanded in custody. That is not the process of which the law is supposed to take. But guess what? The customer is dead. His family is grieving. His children are fatherless. A mother is without a son. A father is without a son. They are brothers and sisters who have lost a sibling. This lies squarely on the shoulder of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for failing to put the necessary laws in place to properly manage security in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There is no one else to take the blame. Remember, like this video, share this video, leave a comment on this video, subscribe to the page, and there are many more videos like this right here. So go down and peruse those videos and let me know what are your thoughts. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son. I am the diaspora machismo. I'll talk to you soon.